Okay, artists, we are going to get ready to make our molas. You are going to need a piece of paper, pencil eraser, and some crayons. We don't want to use colored pencils or markers for this because we're going to finish these up with watercolor. So we want the crayons for that wax resist. These just happen to be twistable crayons. You can use any kind of crayons that you want. So the first thing that we need to do is think about an animal, a fish, reptile, any kind of jungle animal that you can think of that would live in South America. I'm going to go ahead and do a fish, and we're going to draw it with a pencil first. So I'm going to go ahead, and we want to use up the most of the space. So we're going to draw really big. Now, whether your paper goes tall landscape or wide, or I'm sorry, tall portrait or wide landscape is up to you. It just depends on which way your animal goes. So if you're going to do something like a monkey, yours might go up and down because you'll have that monkey shape. If you are going to do a fish like me or a turtle, yours may go sideways. You can think about all of the different animals that live in the jungle, and you can pick anything that you want. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with my fish. I'm going to draw the body and see how I'm using the whole page. I'm going to make mine a happy fish. Bring it down. Now these don't have to be perfect. Remember, we are artists here. And these molas were made out of fabric that were attached to their clothing and then stitched on. And the stitching itself was very special. I'm going to put the fin on, a little flipper back here, maybe one up here, get that eye in. Okay, now here's where we start to add those patterns and textures from the mola. I'm going to go ahead and trace the outline of my fish. You can use any color you want. We're going to go over those crayon lines, and I'm pushing really, really hard. I'm actually going to go over this line twice to make sure that that wax really gets pushed into the paper so that my resist shows up. Pushing really hard. Back. Okay. And over this pencil line. Now when we do our patterns, remember that most of the patterns we saw were very geometric. That means that they were squares and rectangles and triangles. They were simple shapes. They almost look like a maze to me, you know, when you do those mazes where you have to get out of them. I'm going to look for a black. It doesn't look like I have one. Okay, that's kind of black. Oh, it is black. Good. I'm going to put that in. Okay, now when we think about adding our geometric patterns, we're going to add lots of bright colors. That was the other thing we really noticed about these, was that they had tons of colors. So I'm going to go ahead and add some patterns and texture. And again, I'm pushing really hard. If you want, you can draw this in first with crayon, or I'm sorry, with pencil, and then go over it with crayon, or you can just go ahead and add it with crayon. It's up to you. I'm going to do both. So maybe for the flippers, I'm going to do some triangle shapes, and then for this back fin, maybe I'll do green. And I know this is really hard to see, but I'm pushing in really hard so that when I go over it with watercolor, it will show up really nicely. Okay. Now I know I'm going to do kind of a cool pattern here, so I'm going to put in like a little line here for the head, and then I'm going to make a triangle. And then I'm going to go ahead and put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Oop, that's not gonna work. need these to line up. One, two, three, four. See if I have it now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I still have too many. Okay, I'll make this another triangle. Okay, so now I'm going to combine them and make a little arrow. You don't have to do this pattern. You can do any kind of pattern you want. If I wanted to do little wigglies, I could do that. They really use a lot of repetition though in their shapes. Maybe this one will just go straight. Maybe these ones will go backwards. Okay, I'm going to fix these little triangles. And then I'm going to go in with my crayons and I'm going to go over those pencil lines. If you want, you can color them in. We are going to go over this with watercolor when we're all done, just to add another layer of colors and brightness to it. So you can think about that, or you can just go in and fill it in all the way with crayon. That's your choice. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and finish outlining this, and then we'll get right back. And now for the rest of it, I'm going to make it look like stitching. So I'm going to grab those same colors that I used earlier, and I'm going to go ahead and make them look like stitches. So I'm just putting in some dashed lines here. I'm going to rotate in another color. And then another color. I want it to look like it's been sewn. And maybe a little orange. Okay, so you're going to think about what animal you want to do, some kind of a jungle animal. It could be a jaguar, it could be a monkey, it could be a spider, you know, there are tarantulas in the Amazon. It could be a bird, it could be a toucan, it could be a fish like mine, it could be anything that lives in the tropical jungle. And then you are going to go ahead and add your geometric design to it, like some of the samples that we've seen, and fill in your animal. We will work on the background next week, and we will finish it up with watercolor. If you have any questions, send me a message. All right, bye.